In my first video where the Commonwealth of Man and the United Nations of Earth were matched up one-on-one, Commonwealth of Man pretty well took care of the United Nations of Earth. And I got to thinking, this probably doesn't do them much good in a one-on-one matchup because they don't have anybody really to negotiate with. So I made a few changes without strictly turning them into a clone of the Commonwealth of Man. So now they're a military commissariat, so they still get some bonuses for the faction unity and the edicts fund. But what I changed them to an egalitarian and militarist, which is a little bit better ship fire rate and a little bit better claim influence cost, and a materialist, which gives them better research speed. So I thought maybe that would help offset some of the advantages the Commonwealth of Man had in this scenario. So with that, I'll start the game and we'll see what happens. Here's the starting positions of the two empires. United Nations of Earth in blue, Commonwealth of Man in red, and they're on opposite sides of the galaxy, as you can see. It's been 25 years of game time now, so I thought I'd drop in on the two empires and see how they're doing. Check out the United Nations of Earth first. Their economy seems to be pretty good. They're a little overextended militarily or naval capacity wise. Otherwise, they're doing well. Look at their society management. So they've got prosperity. There's their first tradition, and they're working on discovery. They're almost there. For the ascension perk, they've taken technological ascendancy. I think that's an excellent choice. Contacts, they don't know about the Commonwealth of Man yet. They made contact with Artesian troops. Take a look at their colonies. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 colonies. They have a couple of fleets. This one's got destroyers and corvettes. Destroyers have basic core components, basic armaments, and basic utilities with an afterburner in the auxiliary slot. For the corvettes, basic core components as well. No upgrades to the armaments, and no upgrades to the utilities. We'll take a look at the Commonwealth of Man next. And they're doing well economically, a little less energy production than the United Nations of Earth. Society management, they took supremacy as their first tradition for working on expansion. For their ascension perk, they've got imperial prerogative. Take a look at the contacts, and they've run into these three empires, but they don't know about the United Nations of Earth yet. As for their colonies, they have 1, 2, 3, 4 colonies, several fleets, all about the same strength. Corvettes, and they're all made up of corvettes. This corvette got some advanced core components on it, some advanced armament. Utilities are the same. I think I saw a different class here. And let's see. Basic core components and no changes in armament or no change in utilities. So overall, it looks like the Commonwealth of Man outweighs the United Nations of Earth militarily, although they seem to have a technological advantage. Population is about the same, slight advantage to the United Nations of Earth. Well, 50 years of game time have elapsed now. The borders are dangerously close to touching, but not quite. So I thought I'd drop in and take a look at the empires real quick. Bring up my outliner, go to the United Nations of Earth. Looks like they're having some problems with their energy. Got a deficit and consumer goods. Fleet capacity is maxed out. Whoops. Take a look at their society management. They've finished their discovery tradition, and now they're working on statecraft. Got 4 out of 5. They have taken Imperial Prerogative as their second ascension perk. For contacts, they still don't know about the Commonwealth of Man. They're still in touch with the Artesian troop. That's the only one they know of. As for colonies, they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Fleets, they've got 3 fleets. I'll take a look at the one with the cruisers in it. Cruisers, this is their core components. Most of them advanced. They've got advanced weaponry also. And they've got advanced utilities in this cruiser. Take a look at the destroyers real quick. Core components about average. Armaments, basic, and utilities, except for shields, pretty basic, nothing afterburner or auxiliary slots. As for no frigates, they've got corvettes, pretty much average core components still. Average armament, they've changed this a little bit, and average utilities, nothing in the auxiliary slot. Let's see. So I'll check out the Commonwealth of Man next. They're also having some energy problems, but everything else looks okay. They've maxed out their fleet capacity also. Society management, they finished up expansion. They're now working on discovery, 3 out of 5. They've taken executive vigor as their second ascension perk. Contacts, same thing. They don't know about the United Nations of Earth. Still the same 3 they were in contact with before. Colonies, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A little behind. Several fleets. This is the most powerful one. Cruisers, core components. That one's above average. The rest of them are average. Basic armaments, and strong in shields, weak in armor, or a little stronger in shields, a little advanced. As for destroyers, still about average in core components. Got some advanced armament, and got some advanced utilities, and they're using their afterburner or their auxiliary slots. As for corvettes, again, cold fusion reactor is the only advanced one. The rest of these are pretty basic. Some advanced armaments, and they've got slightly advanced shielding and armor, and they're using their afterburners. It's been 75 years of game time, and the borders are now touching in this area. So I'll drop in and see how both empires are doing. United Nations of Earth. First of all, the military, pretty close. Commonwealth Man has a little bit of advantage. They also have a little bit of advantage population-wise. So, but maybe the technological advantage that UNE should have will offset that. I don't know. So I'll take a look. So, society management. They finished their statecraft tradition, and now they're working on mercantile. As for the third ascension perk, they've taken 1 vision. Contacts, they're in contact with Commonwealth of Man, and they don't like each other. I would say war is pretty close, judging by the 949. They have terrible relations. So next, I'll take a look at their colonies. They've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. These include habitats. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 colonies. Several fleets. Take a look at the most powerful one here. It's got cruisers still. This one's only got top cruisers. The most. Oh, I've got some battleships too. Cool. So I'll take a look at the battleships, see what they're made of. They've got some pretty advanced core components. They've got some fairly advanced armaments. They've got some advanced utilities, and they're using their auxiliary slots, auxiliary fire control. Take a look at cruisers. Again, they've got some advanced core components, except for the radar system. Bottom, pretty basic armaments on their cruisers, and they've got pretty decent utilities, and they're also using auxiliary fire control for their cruisers. Let's see, that's it for this. Let me look at a different fleet. These cruisers have core components. They've got some advanced armaments. They've got advanced defenses along with auxiliary fire control. I want to look at their destroyers in this fleet also. They've got advanced core components. They've got some reasonably advanced armaments. Utilities are advanced. Auxiliary fire control. And corvettes. Advanced core components there. Advanced armaments. And some advanced utilities. And they're using their auxiliary slot for auxiliary fire control. Take a look at the Commonwealth of Man. Society management. They've finished expansion. They've finished discovery. They're working on prosperity. For their third ascension perk, they've taken one vision as well. Contacts. I know they're going to have terrible relations with the Commonwealth of Man, with the United Nations of Earth as well. These guys they're getting along with pretty well. Colonies. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, including habitats. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 19 colonies, including habitats. Fleets, several fleets. See if they've got any battleships. They do not have battleships yet. Take a look at the most powerful fleet, which is this one. Cruisers. Well, they got fairly advanced core components. Middle of the road armaments. And middle of the road utilities. The shields look fairly advanced. And they're using shield capacitors and their auxiliary slots. And for the destroyers, again, they've got pretty good core components. Armaments are pretty basic, really. Utilities, middle of the road. And they're using shield capacitors here. And the corvettes, pretty good core components. Armaments, fairly advanced for a corvette. And utilities, average with the shield capacitor. The Commonwealth of Man has declared war on the United Nations of Earth. I usually like to watch these from one of the nation's viewpoints, so I think I'll click on the United Nations of Earth. Their ships will be in green, and we'll see how this transpires. And it looks like the Commonwealth of Man is winning this war. They've got a numerical advantage militarily, that's for sure. Well, the Commonwealth of Man won that war. They made some territorial gains against the United Nations of Earth. What's even worse, they have decimated them militarily. So we'll see the future holds for the United Nations of Earth. I don't know if they can bounce back from this or not. Well, the 10-year truce is up and they're at war again. The Commonwealth of Man has again declared war on the United Nations of Earth. They've got a pretty good advantage militarily and population-wise. I think I'll drop in and take a look at the ships one more time and then we'll see what happens. Take a look at the Commonwealth of Man first. And we're just going to take a look at the ships this time. So I've got a bunch of fleets now. Take a look at this one. They've got a battleship. They've got a lot of battleships in this one. Cruisers, corvettes. Here's the core components of the battleships. Armaments. Utilities. Let's see, take a look at the cruisers. Core components, of course. Armaments. And utilities. And auxiliary slots. Let's take a look at the corvettes while I'm at it. Core components. Armaments. Utilities. So I'll take a look at the United Nations of Earth. Take a look at one of their fleets. So they haven't got as many fleets. Let's look at this one. This one has battleships. Here are their core components and their armaments. Pretty heavy kinetically. Utilities. And the cruisers have these for their core components. Armaments. Utilities. And I'll use one of the two afterburners. See if I can find their, see if I've got any corvettes. Here's the corvettes. Armaments. And utilities with a shield capacitor. Well, interesting to me that they're not using any destroyers. They're using cruisers instead. And I will view this from the United Nations of Earth viewpoint again. Now the war is over again. I didn't see any border change, but let me take a look at the contacts real quick. So it looks like a big war over nothing because there's been no vassalization or anything else, so the game goes on. And here comes war number 3. Again, the Commonwealth of Man has declared war on the United Nations of Earth. They've got about a 2-to-1 military advantage. So I'll watch this from the United Nations of Earth perspective and we'll see how it goes. Now once again the war is over, and once again I saw no border shift. Take a look at the contacts and see if anybody's become a vassal. Nope, another status quo war looks like. looks like the Commonwealth of Man now has a revolution on its hand from the next multi-system. So this could bode well for the United Nations of Earth. They're hanging in there, and they seem to be closing the gap militarily, and I think they have a technological advantage still. So see how this war goes. I'll view this from the next multi-system point of view. We'll see how this goes. Now the United Nations of Earth has declared war on the Commonwealth of Man, and this has been a costly civil war for them. The United Nations of Earth is now militarily stronger, and they've got a lot more population, so I wonder how this is going to turn out. I'm not viewing this from the United Nations of Earth viewpoint. Now the war is over between the Commonwealth of Man and the United Nations of Earth. I think I saw a slight border shift in the United Nations of Earth favor. I think definitely won that war. The other war is still going on between the Commonwealth of Man and the next multi-system. For those of us with short attention spans, here's a before and after screenshot of how the borders looked. The next multi-system and the Commonwealth of Man war is still going on, but it's really not worth monitoring because it looks like it's pretty all over. I think in a matter of time the war weariness will get to them and they'll surrender. Quite a bit of game time has elapsed and nobody's declared war yet between the United Nations of Earth and Commonwealth of Man, so I'm going to go in and do that for them. But before I do that, I'm going to take a look at the ships real quick. So I think I'll take a look at the UNE first. Take a look at their fleets, find a powerful one. Let's see, so they've got quite a few fleets. Let's see what this one looks like. So they've got Titans. Here's the core components. Here's the armaments. They seem to be still focusing on kinetics. Here's the utilities, split evenly between armor and shields, and then they've got shield capacitors. Battleships also focused heavily on kinetic. Here's the core components. Utilities split evenly with shield capacitors. Cruisers, kinetic and explosive looks like. Core components. And again an even split here with shield capacitors. Well, they're using destroyers. Core components. Looks like they've stayed away from energy weapons. Take a glance at another fleet just to see if it's the same. Yeah. So now I'll take a look at the UNE ships. The Commonwealth of Man ships. Find a good fleet to look at. Yes, a few, let's see. Let's try this one. I don't see any Titans. Does not look like the Commonwealth of Man either has access to them or is using them. Battleship, they're kind of split between kinetic and energy. No, these are plasma cannons. I don't know if those, you consider those energy or not. Core components. And they've kind of beefed up their armor a little bit. Cruisers, explosives mostly. Split evenly between, well, no, it looks like they're focusing on armor to counteract the UNE's kinetic weapons, I would imagine. Cruisers. All missiles. Core components. Focus a little more on artillery, on armor. And if I can find it, see if they've got any Corvettes. And let's take a look at the Corvettes. Plasma cannons, core components, and utilities. So I don't know, it looks like it should be an even match, but I wanted to have the Commonwealth of Man declare war on the United Nations of Earth so we can have some action. Commonwealth of Man can't declare war because they're at war with somebody else. So I wonder why they haven't finished these guys off yet. Well, I can't get the Commonwealth of Man to declare war on the United Nations of Earth because they're still embroiled in that war with the machine uprising. But I can have the UNE declare war on them. And that's what I'm going to do. So we will declare war. And we'll see how this progresses now. Once again, from the United Nations of Earth's viewpoint, and I'm going to focus in on the front line as best I can. Well, that was a little surprising. They cut through the United Nations of Earth ships like they were not even there, and they've reduced their military fleets down to nothing. But the war's over. I didn't see a border ship. Let's see if they vassalized them. Go to contacts. And nope, they are still independent. No border ship, but they sure got the stuffing beat out of them. There is now a 10-year truce in place. I don't know if the United Nations of Earth can build up enough of a military force to fight the Commonwealth of Man again or not. We shall see. The Commonwealth of Man has now declared war on the United Nations of Earth. They've got about a 3-to-1 military superiority. So I'm going to start this game up and we'll see if they've got a chance. Once again, from the UNE's point of view. Well, for all intents and purposes, this game's over. The United Nations of Earth has one planet left, their capital. For some reason, the Commonwealth of Man's not taking it out. But they won. Commonwealth of Man won. I thought the United Nations of Earth was going to put up a good fight and maybe have a chance of winning that after the Fourth War, but that was not to be the case. So this is Rich from Loner Strategy Games. I'll see you later. Bye.